Hello and welcome to I Care, I Volunteer, the show that brings to you the issues that concern our community. Before we start, let me introduce you to Volunteer NBC, your local volunteer center serving the cities of Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon. Volunteer NBC helps to connect volunteers and appeal to meaningful opportunities. So if you are looking for a volunteer opportunity, log on to volunteernbc.org to ensure that you receive a meaningful volunteer opportunity. Volunteer NBC also offers many learning opportunities via its Learning Center for volunteer engagement professionals, board members, and volunteers of all ages. Volunteering is an essential part of Canadian society, with research indicating volunteers pump about $50 billion into the nation's economy each year. But the challenges faced by society are becoming more complex, technology is advancing rapidly, and the demands are increasing. This means volunteers are needed in roles that require additional or specialized skills. How can we address this in a positive way? Skill-based volunteering. Skill-based volunteering is the act of giving your time toward a charitable cause that benefits humanity in a way that uses your own skills. To discuss this in detail, we have with us Corinne, Cody, Susha, and Richie. Welcome to I Care, I Volunteer. How are you guys doing today?
Good,
Very
thank
well,
you.
thank you.
For having
You
us.
ready to be on the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, perfect. So we talked a little bit in that intro about what skills-based volunteering is, but do you guys have anything more specific that you guys can add from your perspective?
So I think it's really an opportunity to bridge your volunteer experience with your career development. So depending on whether you're a newcomer and you come into Canada and you want to gain Canadian experience, it's an opportunity to really demonstrate those specialized skills that you can offer to help a nonprofit organization in the region of Peel.
Mm-hmm. Anything else to add?
I was just going to say, I think it's one of the really important trends that we're starting to see in volunteerism, not just in Ontario, but all across the country. And the ability to have reciprocal benefit when it comes to skills is quite key as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's super important what Cody's saying, because at the end of the day, volunteering for the sake of altruism, and nowadays volunteers expect to get something in return. And it's a great way. It's still very much a win-win, but the volunteers, get equally as much out of it as they give to the community as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, how would you say that skills-based volunteering differs from volunteering?
I would say it's really important because one of the things that we are able to see with skills-based volunteering is it actually activates those really specific skills that a volunteer or individual might bring to an opportunity, as opposed to more generalized volunteering, where it could be things that they're interested in, maybe things that they don't have as much experience in, but they want to try out. So the skills-based is really an opportunity to leverage what they bring to the table, but also develop skills that they're interested in as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else to add there?
Yeah, skills-based volunteering has helped me land a job. So as a newcomer, I was really, skeptical about finding a job here. So that's when I started volunteering with Volunteer NBC, and this thing called skills-based volunteering has actually given me a job and a life in Canada.
Yeah. And what about you?
So I started volunteering with NBC about 8 months ago, and it has been a really good experience for me. So it not only enhances your learning, but also your confidence when it comes to being able to work in Canada. And also, if suppose an employer is looking for a particular skill set and they see your resume, but then that's, if you do have a Canadian experience, which volunteering provides you, I think it definitely adds on to your resume.
Yeah. Now, what kind of skills can be used in volunteering, and what kind of skills have maybe you guys brought to the table?
I think it's really great for both of them, because their skill set that they were able to bring to Volunteer NBC is quite unique, but it's something that you wanted Canadian experience in. So maybe you can just share.
Sure. I
your
came to Canada with more than 10 years of project management experience. But even then, I was so skeptical about finding a job without local experience. That's when I started volunteering. And I was a program assistant for the Change the World campaign. So my role was a mix of campaign support, project management, and reporting. I was able to really showcase my skills in project management and client coordination and things like that. And the prep certificate I received at the end of it was really valuable in my job search.
And
Yeah.
what about you?
Yeah, and I would say it definitely adds on, and in the sense that it helps you in your networking as well, right? You get to meet new people and learn more, and it enhances your skills. So I was into reporting, financial reporting and stuff, and I started and I joined the finance committee here, and met new people, and even learned a lot, I would say, with the other team members.
Yeah. Now, why do you feel that one should participate in skills-based volunteering?
I think it really is when we talk about the reciprocal benefit, and I think we have some really great sort of concrete examples with some of the people on the panel here today about the benefits that it can create for an individual. Whether it be a newcomer, whether it be someone who's looking at second career, whether it be a young person who's looking to break into the job market, it is that special opportunity to build and demonstrate.
Yeah.
I think the great way too is that volunteer engagement professionals are able to adjust their roles, their volunteer roles, based on national occupational codes and standards, which so they apply directly into the job market. So they're very transferable skills that they can actually see from the experience you get in the voluntary sector that can directly be applied into a work environment.
Yeah, of course. Real quickly, do you guys have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I think skills-based volunteering is a boon to anyone looking to enter the job market. It need not be just newcomers. It can be high school, students, freshers out of college. And something we used to tell students when we go to schools to promote Change the World is that they can test out their interests using volunteering, So, yeah, they can really gain some experience in particular industries they are interested in, and then they can even decide if it's for them or not. So that's a really good thing about skills-based volunteering.
Perfect. Okay, so we've got lots more coming up after the break, and we'll talk more about skills-based volunteering and things like that. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned right here on I Care, I Volunteer. Thanks for joining us back here on I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. I am still here with Corinne, Cody, Susha, and Richie. Now, Cody, I believe you have a lot to discuss about our next topic, the Achieve Certificate.
Absolutely, and it's actually really exciting for us because we've gone through a process over the last number of months. The PREB certificate was actually mentioned earlier, which is a program that we were able to launch a few years ago in the province of Ontario to recognize volunteering, specifically those opportunities that are more skills-based. Through a process of consultation and collaboration with our partners, we've determined that the name PREB wasn't resonating enough in Ontario to continue building these certificates and the recognition of them. So we've changed the name to Achieve. So Achieve Ontario is the exact same program. It's an opportunity to recognize experiences and skills-based opportunities and focus on the tasks and activities and skills and competencies demonstrated in volunteer experiences, which is great. And as you mentioned earlier, it's a chance to recognize in a standardized way and then potentially provide reference material to a potential employer.
Great to attach to your resume, really.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how does that differ from just an ordinary certificate?
So we always describe it as being a content-based certificate. So it is not one of the types of certificates that you would put on your wall. It's an actual document that you would work with and carry along with you. It's quite full of content. The 2-page version has 4 boxes of content. It has tasks completed, skills or competencies demonstrated, as an area for any special achievements or awards earned, and then finally a potential reference statement from your specific supervisor. So it really is rich with content along with the hours and the dates that the volunteering was performed.
Yeah. So ways in which someone can use this certificate you guys briefly touched on is career oriented. So a
Absolutely.
resume,
College
other-
applications, university applications, absolutely. Youth that want to demonstrate and are applying for community service, scholarships, that kind of thing. People that are looking to change careers, but they need to demonstrate some practical skills in the area that they want to pursue. Another great opportunity to be able to show that you've actually achieved those skills through a prep now and achieved certificate.
Yeah, it really is meant to be that vehicle for a standardized way to demonstrate those to not just people that are in the sector who may already understand the benefit of volunteering, but all audiences, which is really the key, and be able to communicate the transferable nature of skills demonstrated and experiences.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that because a huge topic that we discuss is why volunteers need to be recognized for the work that they do. And this is obviously a way to recognize them, but also help them out in the future, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it
in
really
a
is a
very
tech-
practical way. It's very different than giving them an award or something like that. But this is very practical, something that they can actually really use and in many different areas of their lives. And so I think having the rebranding with the Achieve is an incredible opportunity for volunteer centers to really demonstrate the value to the volunteers, absolutely, but we also have to do the same job, if not better, with companies and corporations, because they have to recognize those certificates, because it's very difficult for newcomers to be able to demonstrate Canadian experience, but to be able to offer this in addition to the many, many skill sets that they bring when they come here, it's an absolutely a win-win.
Yeah. So what brought the specific need to have this certificate?
So it's actually a program that was adopted from something that was created in the province of Quebec, which is the reason that the original name was PREB. It's a French acronym. And when we were able to first launch the program province-wide in Ontario, as a result of funding related to the Pan Am Games, we adopted the name PREB, worked with the program, developed it, and based on the needs that are out there, and we started to see the applications of it more and more, realized that the move to Achieve was the way to go to really build that recognition, because we are starting to see it now be used in a tangible way by volunteers that are accessing employment and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, we have volunteers that are using this certificate to help them in their career goals. And we will, after this break, be getting more to Susha and you, Richie, about your stories and about how this has benefited you, right?
Sure.
Okay, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back right here on Rogers TV on I Care, I Volunteer. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to I Care, I Volunteer. So like I said before the break, we're going to get into your stories about how you've benefited from skills-based volunteering and maybe what an Achieve certificate has done for you. So would you like to share your stories with our viewers today?
Sure. My PREP certificate, or Achieve certificate as it is called now, has really helped me in my job search. I have uploaded it to my LinkedIn profile. I even send it to my potential employers when I send my application, and I've got a very good response. Even on LinkedIn, when people see the prep certificate, they readily identify these skills, because these skills, as Cody mentioned, it's mentioned in corporate language, and it's all just like you see a job requirement, you can readily match it with the skills, and it really helps employers also, so they can immediately decide whether this candidate is even a potential you know um, candidate for this role. So I know for a fact that I have received more responses over LinkedIn and other job search sites compared to other newcomers who were as active as myself in the job search arena. So it has really helped me in my job search.
So what skills were you recognized for in this certificate specifically?
My particular skills were project management, client coordination, communication, and stuff like that.
And it helped landed you a job as a newcomer.
Yes.
And where are you at with that now? How is it going?
Yeah, I'm in an editorial job now, but then they were really impressed about this volunteer experience. I think corporates these days, they really value volunteer
Yeah.
experience, and with skills based them, decide what kind of candidate they are looking at. And it's not